So this property right here that we're going to be touring is in Breakaway in Cedar Park. And as you can see, we are on rather large lots here. All right, so everything here is on an acre plus in the heart of Cedar Park. So it's pretty rare, but this is such an interesting house that I just think somebody's going to fall in love with it. So as you can tell, this is a custom build. It was built, I believe, in the early 80s, custom built. So it has a lot of custom things that are not normally found in a home. So let's take a look at the very beginning. So we have a lot of rock. We have a lot of rock going all the way up to the top, to the ceiling. We have way vaulted ceilings, some chandeliers. I'm gonna show you what those lights up there are about here in a little bit. And you know, nothing would scream 70s, 80s like a conversation pit. Like, who doesn't want a conversation pit? I think that's quite cool. So then we have over here what would be, I would consider, your formal dining back in the day. We don't see like formal dining so much anymore in some of the newer constructions. So what's really cool is, take a look out there. See that? That's an indoor pool. I don't know of any other house on the market out there right now in the Cedar Park, even the Williams County area, that has an indoor pool. So if we go this way, you're gonna get to the master suite. If we go that way, we're gonna get to some extra bedrooms. So we are gonna go to the left first. But I wanted to show this. This is a formal dining. All right, and you're gonna see what that spiral staircase goes up to in a little bit. And that is your kitchen, which I'll get back to in a momento. So, as I was saying, we are walking through towards the owner's suite. And again, we have this grand living area with a shared fireplace with the conversation pit. All right, and we have these just huge windows and all of this architectural space that you just don't see in everyday construction. And like I said, this was a custom build. This was high tech back when it was built. One of the few homes in the Cedar Park area, because Cedar Park was pretty much incorporated in the early 70s. So like I said, we had a pool. You have a bar area that can serve the pool with sink and refrigerator and ice maker. Windows that open out so you can serve your guests. All right, look at that, pretty cool. Skylight up, so you have extra light in here. Walking through, so we do have some bedrooms here. This is bedroom 1. All right, blue is the color of the day when this was put together. We have a shared bathroom, so you have your bathroom there with your single vanity. And that walks through back to the hall. We have another bedroom. Again, very classic maroon and blue back in the day when these were being built. All right, large windows for light. Then we have a laundry room here. You know, what are you gonna say? Laundry room, fun, but at least you have a good view of the pool. So what's interesting about this is what I was talking to the listing agent, one of my friends, Ben. He said that the pool was built first here and the house was built around it. And you might see these things up here. This is a whole house air conditioning unit that I'll show you upstairs when I get to the spiral staircase that moves air without electricity. So very forward thinking back in the day, right? So again, this is what I consider the master primary. You have a floor to ceiling fireplace, right? You have access to the pool, and you have a good sized master, right? With almost floor to ceiling windows. This walks through to the master primary bathroom, right? Got marble, solid cabinets, tile, lots of cabinetry added in here. All right, so again, lots of storage. So you have stained glass with your walk-in tub, toilet there, and then you have your walk-in shower. All right, so all of the stuff that you would want in a master bath. So going forward, I'm still walking, right? Again, if you reference, there's the pool. And then we have this indoor sitting area. So if it gets cold outside, you have a place to come into when you're in the pool. But you have a dry sauna. Look at that. There's your rocks for the sauna. And then you have a bathroom that you can have access to from the pool area because, you know, nobody wants to use the bathroom in the house when you have an indoor pool. Some storage, right? So that is the indoor patio that is attached to this outdoor pool. And look at that. And so those open up above. So you have indoor, outdoor all year long. And like I said, I've never seen anything quite like this. This is a true custom build here in the heart of Cedar Park, Central Texas. All right. Now, I even haven't shown you the real interesting part. And if you can believe that, there's more. There's so much more. And like I said, you saw those, these are to control the above to let the air in and out. So they're manual. So walking. So this here over here is a koi pond. It's not, it was full. I don't see it really full now. I think the owners have let it kind of go back to its natural state, but they did have fish in there, little koi fish. They got them out, they're safe. Just a nice little sitting area, you know, just off of the pool, right? Got a little pathway walk. This takes you back to the front of the house. The garage is right around that corner. But as you walk through, again, you have the slate walkway. You have the mature trees for shade. And you're like, oh, well, she said there's a garage on the other side. So what could this be? Well, we were in Breakaway Park, and if you knew what Breakaway Park was in Cedar Park, you know that there is a private airstrip. So this, my friends, this is an airplane hangar. Look at that. So if you had an airplane, I don't, but if you had an airplane, you'd be able to park your airplane in here, taxi to the runway, and take off. How cool is that? I go over there, I see airplane. That's a hangar. Those are all hangars down there. And everyone down this one has hangars as well. So there's a separate HOA for that, but besides the point, if you want a house that you can park your plane in and take off, I don't know of a better deal. So you got some rainwater collection over here. That's that black thing. And you have a propane tank there, right? So you have that as well. So it tells you that you have a water source. It tells you got gas and electric. So that is probably one of the coolest things I've seen here in Cedar Park. There's very few properties in Texas that allow you to do this. Very, very few indeed. And the number of them that are available are even fewer. So if you were a pilot and you wanted somewhere in Central Texas where you could park your plane and pretty much be anywhere in Central Texas in a hop and a skip, found your house. Found your house. You didn't even know you needed it. Didn't even know you needed it. And you got a house. So we're gonna go back inside, go around the pool area. Again, lovely pool. It's got some speakers up there for sound. This is all your pool equipment in here. I can hear it humming. So coming back around, because I'm basically making a loop around the pool. So this is on the opposite side of where we came in on the front door. So if I turn back around, you have a guest bed. I would call this a guest sanctuary. So they too have access to the pool, right? And again, the floor to ceiling windows. So maybe a guest, maybe an older kid. They're off to the side. You have your full bathroom, right? Into a shared single vanity, all right? Again, look, I wanted to make note of, so you have cabinetry like this, right? For storage, all the way down this hall. So you got storage, and you've got storage. And oh wait, you got some storage again. And then some more storage, and those are safes. You would have access to those if that's something that you wanted to have access to. And I skipped the garage. So you have a 2-car garage. You've got storage over here. All right, with your water heater. You have more storage, sink over here for cleanup. And you have your door to the back. That leads you back, like I said, that's the koi pond that I was outdoor, and that's the hangar. So this is the relationship to the garage. And you got a cedar, I can't turn the light on in this one, but that's a cedar closet. Who doesn't need a cedar closet, right? So no moths on your clothes. So I left the best, I would say for last. So this is the kitchen. So this is the pantry. And again, the cabinetry is crazy. It pulls out, right? So that turns around, more space in behind. This pulls out, oops. More space behind. Somebody spent some engineering brains on this. Like I said, you don't see this in most homes, at least not around here. So you've got pass-through, U-shaped. You got a double fridge. They didn't make double fridges like that. That was a custom make back in the 80s. So, and then you have you have the wood counters, right? They're sealed. Going through, again, you have your stovetop. You have original microwave Panasonic and Gen Air, right? And then going through, we are back at the beginning. So that was a complete loop. So there's a front door. And then as promised, we're gonna go up the spiral staircase to a little game room. Up we go. Look at that. Another view of the pool. All right. And we are up top with a pool table. Look at that. So you have, it opens up to below, right? So that is where we walked in. There's a conversational pit. We have the kitchen, right? So access there. And this is how allows the air to move, right? Because it was these air windows, so you can kind of see them up there at the very top. Those move open, Those move open. These move open, and this, we do have AC, so we do have HVAC, we do have air that moves through here, but the way that they structured the house was that you need less of it because you had these ability to move these windows open and close depending on how the air was flowing to keep that down. So like I said, you see them out there too, up there, you see them down there. And this is like a little nook area, so there's a better view of what these things look like. So they're kind of gridded, and you turn the crank and they open up. And this goes basically back down. Again, you see the pool. And this, I can't figure out the light on this, but this again is more storage, right? Whoop. More storage. So apparently, whoever lived here in the past had a lot of stuff, was conscious about using energy, built a pool, and then built a house around it. So this is a truly, I feel like, a unique, super unique property for the right buyer. You have just so many architectural details that it will take the right buyer to love these architectural details, and I'm sure they're out there. And again, like I said, some of the best parts of it is that you've got an airplane hangar out there to move your plane back and forth from wherever you may be coming from or going to. So if you want to set up a private tour, you can send me a message through the link. I'm going to be writing an actual blog on this, so you'll have access to that and any updates on pricing with regards to this house. And I look forward to working on you on getting this house. Cindy, Texas, Central Texas Realtor.